What if one morning, one that you think is like any other, something unexpected completely turns your life upside down? Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. Every morning, Marta woke up at 5 o'clock to the familiar sound of her digital alarm clock. Her daily ritual was well established. She got out of bed, tidied up the living room, tidied up the kitchen, and quickly prepared a light breakfast, just a coffee and a cookie. There was no time to indulge in long breakfasts because he had to take the 7 o'clock train to the office. He worked at a bank in another city, an hour and a half away, and he knew he couldn't afford to be late. His job was important, not only for his career but also for maintaining a certain financial stability. Marta had worked hard to get that position. Despite the good salary, life in the city was expensive, and with a mortgage to pay and a house to maintain, every euro had to be spent carefully. Her husband, Marco, worked odd jobs and, despite his good intentions, was unable to contribute steadily to the family expenses. This situation put a constant pressure on Marta, who felt responsible for keeping everything in order and under control. Every morning, after tidying up the house and preparing lunch to take to the office, Marta left the house with the precision of a Swiss watch. Her days were organized down to the minute, with no room for the unexpected. The train ride was a rare moment of tranquility for her. She could close her eyes and rest, or devote herself to reading a book. However, her mind was often overloaded with thoughts of work, household responsibilities, and the constant worry of making everything fit together. But one morning, that well-orchestrated routine was interrupted. A small domestic accident made her lose precious time, and Marta arrived at the station just in time to see the train leave without her. At first, she panicked. She was used to being punctual, to respecting her commitments, and missing the train meant being late for work, which worried her enormously. After a few minutes of reflection, however, Marta made a decision she never imagined she would be able to make. She decided to take a day off. She had never done it, not even when she was sick, but that day she felt the need to stop and breathe. She went home without telling Marco, thinking that she could spend a few hours of rest, away from her worries. But when she stepped through the door, an out-of-place detail immediately caught her attention. A pair of men's shoes that weren't Marco's, casually placed near the entrance. Her heart raced as she headed toward the bedroom. When she opened the door, the scene that presented itself before her eyes was like a blow to the heart. Marco was there, in bed with another woman. Marta remained paralyzed, unable to react as the scene before her unfolded in slow motion. The woman, visibly surprised and embarrassed, quickly stood up trying to gather her clothes, while Marco awkwardly tried to justify himself, stammering excuses that sounded empty and senseless. Without saying a word, Marta turned and left the house, feeling as if the world was collapsing around her. Are you enjoying this story? Before you see how it ends, subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. She walked aimlessly through the streets of the city, trying to put her thoughts in order. The sudden discovery of the betrayal had completely overturned her perception of reality. Everything she had taken for granted, everything she had worked so hard for, suddenly seemed meaningless. She finally stopped in a park, sitting on a bench, and tried to calm the whirlwind of emotions that overwhelmed her. After a while, she made a decision. She took out her phone and sent a text to Marco. "You have 2 hours to leave my house and take everything that belongs to you. I never want to see you again." She felt a strange sense of liberation as she sent that text. It was as if, for the first time in a long time, she was taking control of her life. She decided not to return home immediately. She got on a bus and let herself be transported far away, without a precise destination. As the vehicle rolled through the streets of the city, Marta reflected on everything that had happened. She realized that Marco's betrayal was not just an act of infidelity, but a signal that something in her life had to change. She had spent too much time trying to keep everything under control, sacrificing her desires and needs for the sake of her family and work. When she finally got off the bus, she found herself in a neighborhood she didn't know. She walked a little way until she found a small cafe. She sat down and ordered a cup of tea, something simple, something that would give her a moment of comfort. As she slowly sipped her drink, she made an important decision. She would no longer live her life for others. It was time to put herself first. The return home was different than she had imagined. Instead of feeling dejected, she felt a new strength within her. When she arrived, she found the apartment empty. Marco had left, taking his things with him, and with them, everything that represented a closed chapter in his life. Marta knew it would not be easy to rebuild herself after everything that had happened, but she was determined to do it. The next day, she got up at 6 o'clock as usual, but something had changed. This time, she didn't rush to tidy up the house or prepare lunch for the office. She took some time for herself, made herself a proper breakfast, and sat down to eat calmly. She knew that from now on, she would live life on her own terms, no longer being swept away by other people's expectations. And so, Marta's life took a new direction. The small, unexpected event of that morning had turned out to be the beginning of a journey of rebirth, an opportunity to rediscover herself and to build a life that was truly in line with her values and desires. She didn't yet know what the future had in store for her, but for the first time in a long time, she felt ready to face it with courage and determination. And you, how would you have reacted in Sylvia's place? Write it in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next time.